Okay, as a review of all the organ systems, I want you guys to identify what organ systems these body parts belong to. You do not need to write down the body parts, just write down the system, okay? I'll give you 7 to 10 minutes. So go ahead. I'm going to pause the video so you can do this at home. And then when we're ready, I'll continue the video again. All right, go for it. I think it's going to be raining soon. Just do not bother, same time. Don't write down all those body parts. Just tell me what system they belong to. Try to do it without your notes. If you don't know, you don't know. It's only the 4th day of school, but you will know it all. Yeah? Joseph Ocasio. Signing out in 234. Pretty precise time. I don't think we're going to get to the homeostasis lesson, guys, so we'll just have to do it real quick on Monday. It takes 5 minutes, but we hardly have 5 minutes. So it's 2:28. I need you to try to finish by 2:32. Give us 2 minutes just to run through it. I'll tell you what, I hate rushing students, so I'm going to tell you this. We have 6 minutes left in class. Whatever you don't finish in class today, do for homework. And we'll come back on Monday and go over it. Don't Google it. This is just to see what you know. This is not for a grade. I just want to see what you know. If you don't know it, it's fine. It's not for a grade. You're going to learn it. But do this till the bell. I'll just do the rest of the video with the tape here. Can't read what? Biceps brachii. Samantha, you weren't in here. Coccyx, C-O-C-C-Y-X, Coccyx. No. Leftover erase marks. Okay. Remember, when's your test? Right. We don't do tests on Friday. Thursday. Don't wait till the last minute to study. Be on unit 1. Then we get into chemistry. Yeah. Coccyx, C-O-C-C-Y-X. If I told you, you'd be like, oh. I'm going to tell you till Monday. You probably Google it, but that's cheating.
Oh my gosh.
Hi.
Yeah. It's like the markets.
All right. Don't have to ask. Just set some things down and take care of it. I'm never letting you in. Yeah, I'm gonna take care of that myself. Rather than just rewrite everything. Yeah, we're gonna move again. So. All right, we're moving seats again. Somebody left. All right, so here we go. Listen up. Slow. No, that's 8 grades. All right. So actually, let's see what you're doing. 28. So, I did the wrong part. Wrong class. It's the same school. All right, here we go. Lillian 1, Anna Sophia 2, Caitlin 3, Emma 4, Nikita 5, Lily 6, Emma 7, Emma Caradantes 7, Alex 8, Scout 9, Gwendolyn 10. Good? All right. Tamis 11, Audrey 12, Lucy 13, Rochelle 14. Is Lucy here? No. Isabella 15, Julia 16, Gabriel 17, Madison 18, Mia 19, Andre 20. Again, the second row is where the changes start. Michelle is 14, Isabella 15, Julia 16, Gabriel 17, Madison 18, Mia 19, Andre 20. Marilee. Morales is 21, Kate 22, Cooper 23, Maria 24, Mackenzie 25, Alexa 26, Sebastian 27.
Can I get extra credits?
Why?
Shut up, don't say your last name.
Say it last name. Yeoman?
Caitlin.
Oh, Ballesteros.
Ballesteros.
Oh, I can do the A.
Okay.
Ballesteros. Toma enseñó para 3 años en la escuela secretaria. Mi tía es también profesora. Era. It's been a little while. Gracias. All right, guys. Let's go over this list again. You guys are way ahead of the classes, so today I can actually get you a textbook. Still some time. All right. Let's make sure you got these right. If you notice, I have Zoom set up, so here we go. Your lesson today is going to be rather brief. Nikita, Sebastian, and who else? All right, you two are my former AP students. You two, you and you. You better know today's lesson. When we get to it, you better know. All right, here we go. Oops. I know we did this yesterday. We're doing it again. I'm recording it. So here we go. Okay, what system does the stomach belong to? Digestive. How about the spinal cord? Nervous. You may have gotten confused between spine and spinal cord. What does the spine belong to? Skeletal. The spinal cord is inside your spine. That is your nervous system. How about your bladder? Yeah, it's actually called your urinary bladder, but that would kind of give it away. The clavicle, also called the collar bone skeletal, right. Let's see, trachea. What does the trachea belong to? That's your windpipe. This is respiratory. How about your aorta? It's a very large blood vessel coming out of your heart. Cardiovascular. What's another name for the cardiovascular system? Good. How about phalanges? They make up your fingers, toes. Skeletal. You guys will learn all 206 bones of the skeletal system, but don't let that intimidate you because 68 out of the 206 are just phalanges. Yes. Yeah, I would write these down just as, or just strictly pay attention. Your gluteus maximus. That's your muscular system. That's your booty. There's a gluteus minimus, a gluteus medius, and a gluteus maximus. How about the prostate? Reproductive, male reproductive to be exact. How about the lymph nodes? It's pretty easy. The lymphatic system. This is where white blood cells will reside. In your throat, if you're kind of sick, your lymph nodes in your throat might swell up. Some people have a tendency to say my glands are swollen. No, your lymph nodes are swollen. They're active. They're trying to fight an infection. All right, the liver, the largest internal organ. What system does this belong to? Does food travel through your liver? No, but it is not everything that travels has food going through it is part of the digestive system. How about your hair? Integumentary. How about your thyroid? It's in your throat. It controls a lot of things such as metabolism. Endocrine system. How about your femur? Yeah, it's the biggest bone in the body. It's your thigh bone. How about your kidneys? Urinary. Here's a tough one. The olfactory. May have heard that word before. Olfactory. No.
Oh, we'll never eat. So go to that.
Smell something. My brain is interpreting what the smell is. Nervous. Here's a question I was asked a long time ago. Does scent, like, does smell have mass? Things that you smell, candles, dog poop, your neighbor's BO, do they have smell or do they have mass? Yeah. They go up in your nose, they interact with your olfactory receptors, and your brain interprets what the smell is. How about your gallbladder? No, that's your bladder. Digestive system. The liver produces a digestive enzyme called bile. It produces it, the gallbladder holds it. How about the pancreas? There's two answers here. Digestive is one. No, not urinary. Endocrine. It produces enzymes and digestive juices and hormones. How about the spleen? You'll never get this. Wow, I stand corrected. I love it when I'm proved wrong. Lymphatic system. It has an immune function. How about the uterus? Female reproductive, of course. It is a hollow organ that can contract. So what type of muscle is the uterus composed of? Smooth. Can you control it? No. Biceps brachii. Muscular system. Brachii means shoulder. This muscle has two parts. That's what the bi means. And the brachii means it connects to your shoulder. How about the jugular? Cardiovascular. The cerebellum. It's the second largest part of your brain, the nervous system. It controls coordination and balance. Antibodies. The lymphatic. Been hearing a lot about that with COVID. The larynx. It's your voice box. Respiratory. How about the pharynx, the back of your mouth? Two answers. Respiratory and digestive. Sebaceous glands. They secrete oil on your skin. And nope. Endocrine is secreting into your blood. Any other gland is called an exocrine gland. Since this is part of your skin, this is going to be the integumentary system. How about subcutaneous tissue? It's your fat layer. Integumentary. Digestive. Number 29, the coccyx. This really stumped people last period. What bone is it? It's your tailbone. And then finally, your nose. What is it made of? Cartilage. So what system would that be? Skeletal. All right. There they all are. Nice. Yes. 28 is subcutaneous tissue. It is part of your integumentary system. All right, guys. Today's lesson is going to be kind of short. And then when we're done, I'll be able to check out some textbooks to you. So we're right on track. Before I do begin, when is your test? Thursday. It's going to cover Unit 1. Next week, we're going to do body cavities, like the big open areas within your body. We're going to do body planes. You're looking at something front, sideways, down the middle. Then we're going to do a lot of directional terms: anterior, posterior, dorsal, medial, lateral, those kind of terms. All right. But let's worry about today. Let's get to it. Today, we're going to learn about homeostasis. Homeostasis is an internal equilibrium. Yes, ma'am. Yep. So when you and I have a conversation or I embarrass you, it's all on YouTube. We can go back and watch it and laugh a little more. Okay? Okay. Our bodies have to be in what we call, or what I'm going to personally call, the Goldilocks zone. If you're unfamiliar with the three bears, Goldilocks broke into some bear's house. It's called a breaking and entering, B&E. And she drank Papa Bear's porridge. Whoa, way too hot. She goes over to Mama Bear's porridge. Way too cold. Drinks Baby Bear's porridge just right. That is where we have to be. We have to be in the zone. It is a range. It is not typically an exact value. It's within a sufficient range. Now, what am I saying it? What is it? It is a lot of things that need to be in a proper range. Can you all tell me a few things that your internal environment must be within range in order for you to be happy, healthy, and not experience things like organ failure? Yeah. Temperature is a huge one. We must be within range. What else? pH level, very good. We don't want to be too acidic. We don't want to be too basic. We want to be just right, just in the zone. Not too much of either way. What else? There's a lot of things out there. Yeah.
Sugar.
Yeah. Sugar. What is Gatorade known for? Electrolytes. Very good. Salt. Sodium. Magnesium. Potassium. Those are all electrolytes. Here's one. Water. We have to have proper water levels. Have you ever stood up and everything just goes black? You don't pass out, but everything just goes black. You're dehydrated. It's called postural hypotension. Hypo means not enough. Tension means pressure. You don't have enough water in your blood to give you sufficient blood pressure. Drink some water. Learn something. Let's see. What else? White blood cells, WBCs, white blood cells. If a doctor took a blood sample from you and your white blood cell count is high, there's really two things that could be that could lead to. You could either be fighting an infection, which would make sense, or what's the other condition in which you would have way too many white blood cells? Leukemia, cancer. Yeah, you're making way too many when you shouldn't be. Too many white blood cells? Or oh, well, we're glad you're here. Let's see, there's got to be at least two more I can think of. Let's see, things that our body needs. We said sugar, that's a big one. Yeah. I was thinking of hormones, things like insulin. Sure, we'll go ahead and throw that in there. You don't want too much, like growth hormone, you'll get massive. Yeah.
Blood pressure.
All right, fair enough. I'll put BP, blood pressure. You guys are going to learn a lot of initials, you know, BP, BPM, RBCs, WBCs. Okay, we'll leave it with that. I want to tell you all a story. Back when the Nintendo Wii came out, like 12 years ago, it was the first video game console where you could actually have motion censored remote controls. So you could bowl, you could bat. I'm sure some of you played with the Wii before. It was really popular, state-of-the-art invention. And out in San Diego, there was a radio station competition called Hold Your Wii for a Wii. Whichever contestant could hold their urine the most, but continually drink water without peeing, would win the game and win the Nintendo. So this mom was going to do it for her son, win her son a Nintendo. And this thing was like $200 or $300 or so. She's drinking water, drink, no pee. She died. She died because we are walking, talking biochemistry experiments, and we have to be perfectly balanced. All that water completely tipped her over the edge. She was totally unbalanced. We are never perfectly balanced, ever. I don't want you to ever think that we are like this. Like I'm trying to be a teeter-totter. I'm balanced on both sides. We are never perfectly balanced. What we are is like this. We're trying to become perfectly balanced, but we never really get there. This is known as dynamic equilibrium. If you have to take anatomy or another class that mentions this in college, your professors will be pretty pleased that you know what that is. Dynamic equilibrium means that you're not perfect, but you're trying to be. Yeah.
I don't understand, like, how would you hold your pee?
You have to ask her.
I thought it was impossible.
She clenched really hard. Maybe she had a few little drips. I don't know. I don't want to speak ill of the dead. Anyway, so guys, dynamic means you're not perfect, but you're not perfectly balanced, but you're trying to achieve balance. So dynamic is generally, it's changing, but attempting to accomplish the goal. So the goal is balance. How many of you have sixth lunch? I do too. So you ate about an hour ago. Well, right about now, your blood sugar levels are probably getting pretty high. But how would you describe your blood sugar levels before you had lunch? They're probably pretty low because you haven't eaten yet. So your blood sugar levels are low. Your body doesn't want them that low, so eventually you ate, and then whoop, they go up. Uh-oh, they're too high. So what should your body do with this blood sugar that's way too high? Secrete insulin to bring it down. But what happens? You go too low. And there's another hormone called glucagon, which elevates, it comes back up. And look, uh-oh, we got too high. So what do? You go low again. Oh, too low. Go high. Up, too high. Go low. We're never perfect. This is in response to your pH levels, your body temperature, your blood sugar, your blood salts, your electrolytes, all those things we listed. You're never perfectly balanced, but you're attempting to get balanced because there's a lot of different things in our environment that happen to us and that we expose to, which can throw things out of whack. Your body's job is to try to keep it balanced, but you're never going to be perfectly balanced. That's known as dynamic equilibrium. Now, there's two means in which your body attempts to achieve this perfect little Goldilocks environment, and those means are called feedback loops. Sound familiar, my former AP students? A feedback loop is something that aims to make the situation right. And there's two types of feedback loops. Nikita, what are they?
Positive and negative.
Positive and negative feedback loops. We're going to do negative feedback loops first. So Nikita, let's say that you are my son and I walk into your bedroom and it is a disaster. It is a mess. Your bed is upside down, clothes everywhere. You aren't putting garbage in the garbage can. Your toys all over the place. It's just horrible. It's a disaster. So I'm going to say, Nikita, this is unacceptable. You need to fix this. You need to change this right now. I want this cleaned up. Am I giving you negative feedback or positive feedback?
Negative.
I'm giving you negative feedback. So in negative feedback, whatever it is that is happening isn't good. It needs to be undone. If I'm your boss, you're working at Smoothie King and there's a customer in line and you're on your phone, not attending to the customer, I'm going to chew you out. Negative feedback. If your dog bites you when you told him to sit, you're not going to give him a treat. Negative feedback. No, bad boy. No. You want to undo what is happening. So what does your body do when it's getting too hot? You sweat. That's right. What does your body do when you get too cold? You shiver, trying to generate heat. What does your body secrete when your blood sugar gets too high? Insulin. Now, I said this hormone a moment ago. What hormone is secreted when your blood sugar gets too low? Glucagon. Kind of like someone said it sounds like a sugary transformer. Glucagon. You want to undo what is happening. That's negative feedback. The other one is positive feedback. Positive feedback means you like what's happening, amplify it. You amplify what is happening. So you are an employee at Hollister. I'm your manager. And you just sold 10 pairs of jeans in an hour. Pretty good. I'm going to say, that's great. I'm so happy. I'm so proud of you. Well done. Can you do 13 pairs in an hour? Sell 13. Like, man, you're on fire. Can you do 15 pairs in an hour? That's positive feedback where you like what's happening. You want more of it. You come home with a report card. You got like all A's and 2 B's. You got 4 A's and 2 B's. You tell your parents, or your parents are saying, I'm so happy you got 4 A's, 2 B's. Can you get 5 A's? You didn't do bad, but can you do even better than that? That's what we're talking about. The Bucks won the Super Bowl. That's great. Can they do 2 in a row? We'll see. So the classic example in biology of positive feedback is childbirth. So I'm going to try to draw this. It's not going to be pleasant. Let's say this is the cervix. And if you didn't know this about pregnancy, in the 3rd trimester, the baby is upside down. because the cervix is downward and the baby's head is right on there. So unless the baby is in an awkward position. So here's our baby. So happy to be born. Yay. Looks like a gingerbread man. Now, okay, check this out. Hold on a sec. Yeah, okay. Make sure I was sharing this. All right, so the time has come for childbirth. And so the uterus is crashing this baby into the cervix. This triggers a signal to go to the mother's brain. And more specifically, her pituitary gland. Your pituitary gland is in your brain. Every time that baby's head pushes against the cervix, a signal travels through the nervous system from the cervix to the mother's brain, upper spinal cord to the brain. And it's going to tell the pituitary to secrete a hormone called oxytocin. Oxytocin is called the love hormone. Its levels are very high during sex and during childbirth. It actually has a sort of amnesia effect with the mother. So if she's giving live birth, it's not the most pleasant experience, but she's got so much oxytocin flowing through her veins that she's just so infatuated with her little baby that she's really not focusing on the pain. It's there, but her attention is just, here's my child, it's here. That oxytocin levels are really high. Well, oxytocin is going to be secreted, and this is a hormone. So what system does it belong to? Very good, endocrine. And what does the endo part mean? Inside where? Your hormones travel through your blood. And so your pituitary is way up here. The cervix is way down there. How does the oxytocin get all the way down to the cervix? Y'all just said it. Through the bloodstream. Okay, so it goes to the uterus and it causes the uterus to contract more. And so the uterus is going to contract. As you all know, it's a smooth muscle. You cannot control it, and it's going to contract more. Now, this is all cause and effect. If the baby is pushing against the cervix even more, what is that going to cause to happen? That signal is going to travel where? Mother's brain to what part? Pituitary to secrete what? More oxytocin to do what? More contractions. This just keeps going and going and going until, ta-da, birth. Baby's out. Once the baby's out, are there going to be any more contractions? Why not? Yes. There's no longer pushing against the cervix. So again, let's reverse engineer this. If it's not pushing against the cervix, are there any signals being sent to the brain? No. Are there any instructions being told to the pituitary? No. So is there any oxytocin being secreted? No. It all goes. But here's what happens. Whenever you guys have that time in your life, guys, if you're in there with your wife or girls, when you're actually in there, your contractions are when it starts out, your contractions are very brief and very spaced apart. Let's say, I'm just going to make up some numbers. Let's say they last for 10 seconds every 15 minutes. 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's it. Every 15 minutes. But as you get closer to childbirth, what if it's 25 seconds every 7 minutes? What if it's a minute and a half every 3 minutes? See, they get longer and closer together. That's because that baby is pushing. It's getting ready to go. And the uterus needs to get those pushes out, get that baby out of there. You may wonder, well, then how come, I've seen TV shows before, how come they tell her to push? It's a combination of the smooth muscle of her uterus and the pelvic muscles of her pelvis or abdomen. If you've ever sat on the toilet and pooped, the muscles you use for that are the same muscles you use to push, which is why some moms poop when they give birth. Some of you might have been pooped on. Question you might want to ask your parents. Some of you might poop on your baby. I have a friend who's going to give birth in 2 weeks. They're going to induce her on the 27th or the 28th. And the only thing she can think of is, God, I hope I don't poop on my daughter. That's seriously, that's what she's worried about. So, if you guys are having dinner tonight, your parents say, so how was class? So, Mom, I need to ask you something. Was I or wasn't I? Am I a natural brunette? Ew. All right. Nasty. A C-section is when you cannot be born naturally for whatever reason, your age as a mother, the baby might be in an awkward position where you can't just go down the vaginal canal and come out. So what they do is they open up your belt line. You have a scar like right where your belt is, and they spread apart your uterus and they just pull you out. I was a C-section, baby. Yeah.
So what is they say they give like mothers something to help with the pain?
An epidural. They put it in your spine and you don't really feel anything.
So does that suppress the whole process or not?
A little bit. I don't know entirely, but I do know you can still push, but you don't really feel the pain.
So you don't really feel
The oxytocin, the oxytocin is going to be secreted whether you control it or not. You can't control that. That's autonomic. I know a mother who described her experience with epidural. She said she was just lying there like, the doctor said, okay, push. And she would go, okay. She was whacked out. It's right into your spine. So you don't feel it. You really don't feel the pain. Yes.
My mom had epidural. She said it just felt like
Uncomfortable.
It didn't like hurt. So
Yeah, not a lot of pain. You feel pressure,
Yeah.
but you don't feel the pain. Yes,
Are Braxton Hicks like contractions that just don't push the baby out?
that's right. It's kind of like moving the baby in the right.
This process still going on. It's just not like full birth.
Correct. Yeah. When you're especially in your third trimester, the baby's not always upside down. Braxton Hicks are like little contractions. The uterus is getting ready. It's also positioned the baby in the right orientation to slide out. Yeah.
So my mom didn't have whatever that's called. When she was giving birth, and she said that she would have really liked it. And I didn't understand why she wanted it so bad.
What, an epidural?
Yeah, isn't it supposed to like feel good but hurt? Like she said it was the worst experience ever. Not really.
Natural childbirth?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not. Do you know what an episiotomy is? An episiotomy is where you give birth, but the doctors have to kind of cut open your vaginal opening a little bit because the baby's not fully going to fit, and then have to stitch you back up. Hmm. Oh, really? I don't know why I was a C-section. I had to ask my mom. I think she was 36. So
Yeah, my mom was 36. I had a C-section.
maybe it was age. Because when you get to a certain age, the doctor's like, no way we're letting you give birth naturally. You're too old.
No, but I would come out. I think someone was wrong.
Any other questions? All good questions. This is what I want. You guys can ask anything you want. I cannot guarantee I'll know it all, but I'll try my best. Just use proper terms and maintain your composure. Whatever you want to talk about. Anything. I love it. All right. So that's positive feedback. There's negative feedback. So I'm going to give you guys a little scenario here. See if you can tell me what it is. Then we'll wrap it up for today. I'm going to try to get you your textbooks. Okay. So I just ate dinner. How is that going to affect my blood sugar? I'm going to have hyperglycemia. I'm going to start using real words. Hyper means too much. You know what glyc means? Sugar. Do you know what emia means? Blood. I have hyperglycemia. So what hormone is going to be secreted to lower it? Insulin. All right. So your blood sugar levels drop. Eventually, you might get hypoglycemia. What do you think that means? Low blood sugar. And so what hormone is going to try to elevate it? Glucagon. Okay, and then you go back to having high blood pressure. Or high blood sugar, excuse me. What is this an example of? Positive feedback or negative feedback? You say positive, she says negative. We have a disagreement. Do we want to amplify what is happening, or are we trying to undo what's taking place? We undo it. Your blood sugar is too high. Why are you secreting insulin? To lower it. Your blood sugar is too low. You secrete glucagon. Why? Or what do you want to do with that? Make it higher. So again, is that negative or positive? Negative feedback. Very good. All right, we will wrap that up. I'm going to hit stop.